A brand new month is approaching, and that means it's the perfect time to let go. You can play the 30-day minimalism game and also download our free printable 30-day minimalism game calendar over at theminimalists.com/game. Enjoy.
The Minimalists.
With youth having unprecedented access to porn over the past 20 years, I'm wondering what the impact has been on these now young adults. Will they experience trauma similar to someone who has experienced sexual abuse?
Let's talk about porn. We talked about porn of yesteryear. We know about porn of today, and it's, it's unlimited, and everything that you could want to possibly search for, you can make up
or
a
not
kink.
know that you wanted to ever happen.
Yeah. You could even make up something you've never even seen, and I bet you can find something, some sort of video that captures that fake kink. What does porn of the future look like?
Well, to answer this quickly and touch on that, I do think it's not the same as a person who's gone through sexual abuse. But look at Tim's email from the beginning. He felt that something was taken from him. Yeah. He felt that he had a tougher time with his own sexual exploration. I think the statistic that the Gen Xers are having less sex than any generation before them is the proof that porn and the accessibility to porn is having an impact on a generation. So are we worried about the population? Because some people say, oh, well, there's less teen pregnancy, the population is going to go down. No, we're worried about intimacy because intimacy brings kindness, brings empathy, it brings love, which brings better things, right? Yeah. So I do think we're going to see more and more numbers of these types of people growing apart and not having that intimacy, which is where we're scarred. Porn of the future, that's going to be an interesting thing, because what happens is there's men or women that work in an office that delegate the script writing, the scenarios, and what is needed. Now, I personally believe those people should be washed out every 2 years, and new, fresh minds should come in, because when I've seen people sit there for 10, 15 years, what happens is they bring things to us that even we are not ready for. So what it shows me is they're completely burned out from everything they've already produced, and they need to keep pushing the envelope and pushing the envelope and pushing the envelope. And the performers are going like, I don't want to do this. Like, this isn't something that turns me on. This isn't something I want to promote. A lot of women will tell you there's scenes I was asked to do that I didn't want to do because I don't think it should be out there.
Yeah.
Whether it's rape style scenes, whether it's incestual, insinuated incestual scenes.
What is up with that, by the way? Why
that
is
is
that
those
so
people I'm
now?
telling you that need to leave those offices and stop writing scripts that are just churning out this stuff that I would say, like, you need new writers, you need new people. And I always also, I've gotten to travel to different places to go into these writers' room, and I'm like, first of all, most of these writers aren't having any sex, so they're the wrong people to be writing. And then the ones that have been doing it for too long are just like, nothing works for them anymore. You know what I mean? And so then they're like, well, let's bring the stepmom in and the neighbor and the girl that looks like she's definitely not 18 yet. Let's put her in pigtails and high socks so we could push that. And you read through these details, you're like, it's those people creating the content. Those are the creators that bring the ideas that then say, we're going to do this. This is the role you're playing. That's why the OnlyFans thing really popped off the way it did, was because more women said, I've been in this long enough where I've been asked to do way too many things that I'm not comfortable with, so I'll just shoot my own content.
Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of these women are stepmoms. They don't want to play a stepmom in a movie.
Right.
They don't want to do that incestual thing that bothers them, that makes them worry about society. Why are we promoting something that we should not be promoting? That's those people. And I think I'm worried about the porn in the future, because if we don't bring in fresh minds or young people, what do you want to see? Why are these all older men that have seen everything? Why don't we bring in some 18-year-olds and say, if you could direct a porno, what would you write? How would it go down? Where would they meet? What would the scenario be like?
Yeah.
I'd be intrigued to know what their details would be.
Yeah, it's almost, I see what you're saying about the fear of porn in the future, because with all the incestual stuff out there, it's like the bar just keeps getting raised.
And now there's video games that they're starting to build and launch where a kid will be able to go on and be like, I want this girl, I want her to do anal with that guy, I want her to have a big butt so I can make her butt bigger, and they can make this girl and then this virtual girl can do whatever they want. They're never going to leave the room.
Right. And I think that's the problem when we, I think it could bifurcate a few ways here. When you go to virtual reality sort of porn, it's one step away from having the sex android in your house, right? The problem with that is it apes the form of intimacy. It makes you feel in the moment as though it's a replacement or a supplement for intimacy. Nothing wrong with supplements, but when your entire diet is a supplement, you actually don't get all the nutrients you need, right?
Yeah.
It's not natural, literally. And so while we can supplement with pornography, when it takes place of the intimacy, and by the way, it gets better and better as technology improves, I see that as a potential problem. Where I see a potential upside is us being able to have conversations like this with someone like Lisa Ann, who can talk about the good and the bad, the nuance within it, and also talk about intimacy. Because you may know Lisa Ann from porn films that she's shot, but you may not know her feelings about intimacy. And so being able to have conversations about this and say, well, ultimately, sex has to do with intimacy more than it has to do with mere pleasure.